Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Love Hour. Sit back and grab some tea. Wait, that's not right. It's the We Three Bros podcast. What's up, Joseph?
What's up, Derek? I love the intros, man. You gotta keep them spicy every single time we do this, man.
I try to think of something like when you're taking your notes and stuff. I'm like trying to think of I'm sitting here like spinning my wheels, my brain trying to think of intros. I'm like, what can I do to throw Joseph off?
Dude, every single time, man. Like the last time when you were just like, hey, this is the We Three Bros podcast. Thank you, everybody. Like that it blew my mind. I was just like, what is this dude doing? Like, what is happening right now? And then you came with the energy. I love it, man. Let's keep it going. Let's get this thing started, man. Let's get it started. Okay, I'm not going to go and sing the song. That's all I can do. Legally, that's all we can do because then we'll get pulled off the air.
5 seconds?
5 seconds. That's it, man. We have the 5-second rule. Similar to when you drop food and you pick it back up. Yes, I've dropped the whole pizza upside down, picked that sucker up, and still ate it. I was like, fine, whatever. We're going to keep moving. So, Derek, as always, man, let's start it out. How was the week, man? How was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? Did you do anything exciting? Or did you do what everybody else does and just sit back, relax, and watch some TV, man?
Pretty much. I pretty much vegetated all weekend.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
And then this week, like today, I take that back. Tuesday I had to go to the office because I had an install.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there the whole day. But other than that, like I've been in the house all day, every day, up until today, this afternoon, we went and got some food to bring back home. But
gotcha, man.
Just been chilling in the house, working. So not doing too much, but catching up on stuff in the evening, watching TV seeing, scrolling through like HBO Max and all that, Paramount, Peacock, seeing what's on.
For sure, man. Okay, definitely it's good stuff, man. I know what I did, and I'm gonna be this guy for like a second, and then I'm gonna come back and get back into podcast mode here, man. So I think I told you, man, something I like to do in my free time whenever I get a chance, man. I do CrossFit, right? Like, it's something I got into. And I hate telling people that because it has sometimes like a back stigma. It's kind of like one of those. It's like being a bro guy. Not saying that there's anything in comparison to those people, but it's like being like in a fraternity almost, where like you tell somebody you're like, yeah, you're in a fraternity, and all of a sudden they start like assuming and judging you automatically.
Yeah, like you're a certain way.
Right. One of my there's a show that I watch. It's called What We Do in the Shadows, and one of the jokes is, they're throwing a party. It's a show about vampires, right? And there's these vampires, and they have familiars. And if you guys don't know what a familiar is kind of like an assistant to a vampire, and hopefully with the means of eventually being turned into a vampire by the vampire, right? And they assigned a familiar with the task of finding virgins to come join. Finding virgins for a sacrifice because they're throwing this huge party or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he's going through the list, he's like, he has like LARPing. He's like, find people on LARPing, find people who do like Dungeons and Dragons. And then it was just like, find people at CrossFit. He's just like, you find people at CrossFit because all they ever want to talk about is CrossFit. It's just kind of one of those things where like somebody is like, so like I'm always a little nervous to tell people like, oh yeah, I do CrossFit. Like it's just something I like to do, right? The Olympic lifting aspect of it, the cardiovascular aspect. It's very dynamic and range. There's a lot of HIIT workouts in there as well. But I'm explaining all of this because I went to the Rogue Invitational, right? So Rogue, they don't create, but they make plates for like weights and barbells, like racks and stuff. And most CrossFit gyms will have like a lot of the Rogue products. A lot of their stuff is like made in the US. They have a facility out in Ohio, but they do this thing called the Rogue Invitational where they have, they invite some of the top CrossFit athletes to come to this like venue or to the stadium or wherever they're hosting it at, and they have these workouts, and they just do these workouts from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? So I kind of did that all weekend, man. But they also had the strongman competition there, which was freaking awesome. And another cool thing about the sport is like the sport is somewhat popular, but it's not. I mean, it's nowhere near professional baseball, basketball, like nothing like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's still popular enough and not popular enough where like a lot of the athletes sometimes will walk around in the stadium and people will just like casually take photos with them. So it's like, imagine like going to a Niners game and Deebo Samuel is just like walking around the stadium, right? Like
Yeah.
high-fiving people. Like the dude would get swarmed. Like he wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
like make it to the locker room, right? But
Right.
in this regard, like the sport is not as popular. So you know, I was walking like in the vendors areas and just different spots, man, and there was like old, like not old, but like, you know, retired athletes or athletes that aren't competing at the highest level, just like walking around. Like they're known within the community, but
Yeah.
again, they're still to the casual watcher, they're still not really recognizable. So some people don't really like mess with them and stuff, man. But
Yeah.
it was awesome to go see, man. Always cool to get like some free stuff, but at the same time, like buy some things as well, like for some of my workouts and stuff. They have some of the equipment that they were selling there and stuff, which I thought it was funny that they, as these competitions are going on, man, they have to use their equipment.
Yeah.
You know, these athletes are using their equipment. Well, what do they do with the equipment afterwards? They don't just normally give it to the athletes, so they sell it at a reduced price. Now, here's the
Nice.
kicker, man. They'll sell like some of the plates, right? 25 pounds, 45-pound plates and stuff. You can buy them for a significantly reduced price, man. Almost like 70% off of like the normal price or 50% off the normal price, right? It is used, but man, they're still in really great condition because they're only used
Yeah.
for, you know, 3 days over the weekend. The kicker is, one, you can't ship them anywhere, right? So you can't just like pay for shipping to ship them anywhere, right? Two, you can't go in there with like a dolly because it's still a venue, right? Like it's still, you still have
Yeah.
to get badge checked and go through security and stuff. So you can't just necessarily bring a dolly or some kind of, you can't just pull up your truck. You have to carry it by hand. So there was like a family, there was like a swole dad and like a kind of like in shape, you know, wife or whatever. And they had like 4 kids and each one of them was like carrying a plate. And like some of the kids were struggling, man. Like they had like 4 or 5 kids with them, man. Like they had a gang of people with them. And like every little kid was trying to carry these plates out of the venue and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. When I get it, man, again, it's reduced price, man. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever tried to buy like gym equipment, man. The stuff is expensive. So for
Right.
them to provide it for such a reduced price was pretty cool. But anyways, going back to the workouts, man, and stuff. Again, I'm not going to harp on this too much and kind of go into explanations and everything, but it was cool to watch, man, to see people push themselves to the, you know, to the peak of their physical conditioning and like see them do some pretty like awesome things. And it's like they're lifting weights, they're running,
Yeah.
they're climbing the ropes, they're doing upside down like handstand push-ups and stuff, man. To see that stuff is very impressive. To see like people
Yeah.
being able to do that, man, and see these athletes be able to do those things. But also, with that, just like I kind of mentioned earlier, they also had the strongman competition, which was nuts, man. That stuff was, it was wild. Like, I don't think there was like a single person that was probably, maybe 1 or 2 people that was like under 6'5" and probably was like weighed no less than 250 pounds. Like
And just
nobody. Like
ripped.
these, well, I mean, they were ripped, but like some of the bigger guys, there was one guy, his name is Brian Shaw, 4-time like world like strongman competition winner. The dude was like, he's 6'8" and weighed almost 400 pounds.
Damn.
Again, yes, he had somewhat of a gut, but just diesel, like just diesel,
An
right?
enormous human being.
There was a guy who was from Canada, and I can't, or I think his name was, it was like F.W. Caron, Caron, or Carron, but he was there. He did a 926-pound deadlift.
Damn.
Dude, like that bar was bending. There was
like almost to the point of like touching the floor on both sides.
Dude, it was like bars, you know, plates on plates on plates on plates, right? And he's just like, they're just lifting these things like nothing. I will say, man, one thing I never, like, they don't really show you on TV. Like, a lot of times when these guys are lifting this kind of weight, man, they like, they're pushing their bodies to the limit. They're like all limping away from this from this bar. Like, they'll do it and they're like holding their hip, they're holding their hamstring, they're holding their back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was like 2 guys, one guy tore his lat and then another guy like tore his hamstring. Like,
yeah, because I mean, really, no matter how big or how like in shape you are, you're there at a point your body's just not supposed to do certain things. Like your body's not supposed to pick up a small car. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not, man. So that again, even though like it probably wasn't normal, it was still very like it was interesting to watch. I was like, oh shit!
Yeah.
So they did
Oh
deadlift.
yeah, I bet.
They did
Some of
another
them
one.
dudes probably like thighs were like as big as your whole body.
Yes. It's crazy, man. These guys are so big, man. Again, thighs, arms, chest. Like, okay, so I went into one of the, they had like a place where you can buy some stuff, right? And it was like the equipment, it was like the Rogue store, right?
Yeah.
I walked into the store and they were like some of the guys who were competing were in there. And Derek, I swear, the guy's arms looked like 2 watermelons smashed together. His arm, like his one single arm, it was insane. And I'm like standing
like bigger
next
than
to
your
him.
head.
dude, I'm standing next to him, like looking up at him, and I'm all like, if I went down a dark alley, man, like you could just take whatever you want. Like I'm just like, here's my shirt, here's my wallet, here's my shoes. What else do you want? You want my house? Here's my keys to my apartment. You want my dog? Okay, maybe not my dog. I'd fight for my dog at least. But because you want my car, like take my car, man. Like here's my social security number. Here's my credit score. Here's everything, and just let him just like go for it.
They could probably just pick you up and toss you.
Dude, okay, so and we'll get to that, right? So so that was part of the workout that day. They did another one where there was like this 20-pound, like 20,000-pound like thing. It was like a thing they had to push, right?
Yeah.
And it was in a circle, so they pushed this thing in a circle and they wanted to see how far somebody can push it. 20,000 pounds. This man is like it was crazy to see how far they were able to push these things like within a circle. And they went pretty far. I think the next day they did this thing. It was pretty much like a dumbbell that they had to literally pick up from off the ground and then like push it overhead, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like in CrossFit we would call it like a dumbbell snatch, right? Like they would pick it from the ground and they put it over. I think the least or the lightest dumbbell that they started with was like 200 pounds, and it went up to 350 pounds. Right. And this one guy like did, and it was a ladder, right? So like it was multiple of them, and he had to like, again, like I said, one arm, pick it up and then like pick it over your head, right? There was I think there was only one guy that completed the entire ladder. 200, 250, 300, 350, man. Again, like you said, throw me around. I'm like 170 pounds, 75 pounds. Easy. These dudes wouldn't even like, they're throwing me like a football. Like these guys are throwing me a football. So that was impressive. And then they did another one where it was like they carried this 1,000-pound yoke. So a yoke is kind of like a rack, right? So they put this thing on their shoulder. It's a giant rack. They would pick it up, and it was like 1,000 pounds, and they have to walk with it 50 feet. And then after they did that, it was like a 300-pound or 400-pound wooden log that they would have to pick up from the ground, pick it up to their shoulders, and then push it over their head 3 times. I saw a video of one of the guys who was like carrying the yoke. The dude was bleeding from his nose. You know, yes, yeah, insane, just insane, right? So that was again, really impressive. There was one guy that he didn't even he just literally picked it from the ground over his head. Like he literally went like this over his head. Like a lot of them, they were catching it here. And then they were using their legs to press it. This man was just lifting it straight over his head. It was insane. It was insane.
Nuts.
Again, this is like 350 pounds to like 400 pounds. This man is doing this like nothing, man. Which is crazy. So that was impressive. And then they did the Atlas thing, or the Atlas stone thing, where there's like giant stones. There was like there was like 50 inches or something, and they had to throw them over.
Put it on top, yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't like, there were oblong rocks, right? Like they weren't necessarily all round. They were just like giant rocks, and so it was impressive to see them go from like, and I think the lightest one may have been like 250, and then it went up to like 300, and there was like only 2 people that were able to like pick it up, throw it over, pick it up, throw it over, pick it up. One guy, like his forearm was just like scraped, like because he kind of dropped it, and so he like, again, this is 300 pounds he's picking up to like here, and he's like 6'8", so he picks it up all the way there and just scraped his entire arm because he dropped it. So again, this is the kind of stuff I like to watch in my free time. So yeah, man, but it was cool. It was at the Round Rock's baseball stadium, so the Round Rock Express, which I think is a AA or AAA or one of the minor league teams for one of the baseball teams. I have to double check who it is, but the stadium was beautiful, man. The food was great there, surprisingly. I was just like, holy shit, this is like one of the better food, places that, or I guess the one of the better stadiums with like good food at a stadium. Yeah. You know, most stadiums are just like, it's trashy food as it is, but the food was actually pretty decent. Stadium was beautiful. They had a pool there, I think like a 5-foot pool, or whatever. And then it was like right next to the bar. And it was beautiful weather out there, man. Like awesome experience. It was really cool to kind of do, man. I wouldn't necessarily recommend people to go to these places to watch CrossFit, but if you're into it, maybe like watch it on television, on YouTube, which is normally what
ESPN the Ocho.
ESPN the Ocho, man. I mean, I think last year when they did the actual CrossFit Games, there was one day where they aired it on CBS, which was like a big thing.
Huh. Yeah.
So again, it's getting some traction. But enough about CrossFit. I can't believe we just talked about it for 14 minutes here and strongman competitions. But it's just, I'm done. I'm done with it. We'll move on. But yeah, that was what I did all weekend, man. But I also kind of watched some shows and stuff. But we'll get into some of the shows and movies that maybe you watched. Was there anything that you watched?
So I watched a movie from the mid '90s that I'm pretty sure you've seen.
Probably not.
Um,
Let's see. I'm just kidding. What's up, man?
and I haven't watched it in quite a long time, and I was still found it as funny as I did probably when I used, when it first came out, and I watched it way back when.
Mhm.
So the movie I watched was Mallrats.
Oh shit! Oh shit, dude! I have seen that. It's been forever.
Yeah, so it's on Peacock right now.
I said you have a subscription to Peacock, don't you?
Yeah. So yeah, I watched that just last night actually. And like I said, it's been a long time since I watched it, but it
Oh
was actually a pretty good movie.
man, I'm like watching. Dude, the lineup is nice.
Yeah.
They got a nice lineup. They have
I mean, Ben
Kevin
Affleck
Smith.
when he was like mad young.
Yeah, they got Jason Mewes, Jason Lee, Shannon Doherty, which if anybody who doesn't know
Yeah.
who Shannon Doherty is, again, wasn't a famous show within the 90s, which was
And they make a reference to her character from 90210 in Mallrats.
what?
And it's funny. Yeah.
Dude, I have to definitely check that out. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back there. Give me 1 second.
So yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a while. So I decided, I was flipping through looking for something to watch last night, and it came across the thing, and I was like, shoot, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
And
no,
I thought it was
yeah.
just as funny as back in the day when I watched it. I
No,
love Kevin Smith's movies. Clerks, Clerks 2, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, like everything, like all the movies he's been in, he's created. I've enjoyed Kevin Smith as a writer and director and
Mhm.
actor. He acts in his own movies.
No, for sure, man. Again, his story is amazing, and I'm sure people have heard it multiple times. But he pretty much sold a lot of his comic book collection to fund like his first movie, which is impressive,
Clerks.
man. Yeah, to direct Clerks and stuff. And I think I think there might be like a documentary coming out about the
Oh
making
yeah,
of
I
that.
think it's out now. I think it's
Is
already
it
out.
out now? Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So I know there's like a documentary about that and kind of like more stories about that. But yeah, man, I mean, again, people know the story, but if you don't, like, he sold his comic book collection to fund it, which is impressive for the kind of comic books that he possibly had to fund
Yeah.
Clerks, right?
And he's, even as just a regular guy, like I think it was last summer, he had a heart attack and
Oh,
was
that's
like
right.
basically
Yeah.
on his deathbed. And now he's like, and he was overweight, and now
I
like
believe he's a
he's like
vegetarian
completely
or
changed
vegan
his
now.
lifestyle, and he's healthy now, and they're working on Clerks 3, so it's not like we're gonna see the last of like Kevin Smith movies, which is I'm excited to see what comes next for him.
No, man, me too. Again, like you said, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I think there was one movie I didn't watch, and I think that's the one with his daughter. I heard it was like about like mini Nazis in the store or something, like it was something weird, like zombie Nazis that were like
Huh.
small or something. It was an odd film. Like I remember watching a trailer for it, and I think his daughter's in it too. So,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool, man. If you get to make a project with your kid, man, like that's also like that's awesome, right? Any family member or
Yeah.
friend or something like that, you get to again, like me doing this podcast with you, man. It's awesome that get to work with somebody or do something with somebody that you're close with or have friendships with or that's a loved one, like a family member or something like that, man. So that's pretty cool to me. So for him to kind of do that, that's great. Even if the movie wasn't that great, man, or that good, I think the creative process behind it and being able to do that, man, it probably meant a lot to him, right? But
Yeah.
for the most part, man, again, the guy can't miss in a lot of his other films, right? Which are great. And he also kind of, I think he owns the a comic book shop out there in New Jersey. If he doesn't own it, I know he's best friends with the owner that's there. There used to be a show on
Yeah.
AMC called Comic Book Man. I think it might have moved to Prime or it's on a different platform. It used to be on AMC, but I got to actually meet some of those guys, man, and they are funny. They are awesome. One of the characters that's on there, his name is Ming Chen. He's come to the comic convention multiple times. I ran into him in an elevator when I was at the hotel over there when I went to the comic convention. I'll never forget, man.
Yeah.
I was like I was like on the phone, just kind of like just texting somebody, and he like walked into the elevator, and I looked up and I was like, holy fuck, it's me, Jen. And he was just like, hey man, what's up? He, again, super nice guy, man. He's always involved with those kind of things, man. He's super cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm deviating here a little bit and kind of getting off topic. Back to Kevin Smith, man. Love his films. Absolutely agree. Mallrats. I have to go back and rewatch, man. It's been a while. I remember watching it when I was like way younger, but it's kind of a blank right now, man. I'm blanking on like plot and how kind of it went, what was eventually kind of rolled out within the film itself.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go back and check that out, man. But kind of sticking with the '90s, kind of era, which I think this movie came out in the '90s, or if it didn't, oh, it did. It did. It came out in 1999. Sticking with the '90s, there's a film that they're making a trilogy of. The first film is awesome. If you guys have never seen this film, Derek, I think you've seen it. I hope you have. But Boondock Saints.
Yeah, I've seen the first one.
You've
And I
seen
think
the
there was
first one.
I never saw the second one.
You never saw the sequel. The sequel is just odd. It's just odd, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it. The first one I would, man. Boondock Saints
Oh
is
yeah.
awesome. Norman Reedus is in it.
Yeah.
Sean Patrick Flannery, Willem Dafoe is in it.
Yeah.
Rocco, David Della Rocco, like he's hilarious in it. And then Billy Connolly is also in it, man. But that movie is really good. They're making the third film. I don't know if you know this or not, but they
I saw something on it.
they greenlit the first one or the third one. The first one was great. I really liked the story. I came across it by accident. Like I think it was one of those things where you know how it is. You're like home on a weekend. It's on television, but it's like
You
on
like
one
flip
of
it
those.
through.
Yeah, it's like on one of those channels that's like it's edited, of course, so they don't show everything.
Yeah.
And I never understood or knew the cat story because they kept referencing it, but they didn't show it in there because they kind of deleted the scene or like removed the scene for like obviously for audiences and stuff. But in the film, I guess one of the characters, Rocco, he like shoots a cat or something like that. It's really weird. But anyways, I digress. The film is awesome, man. It's really good. Like I said, I came across it by accident. It was just one of those things where it was on television, and I was like, "This is odd. What is this about?" And of course, there was like people getting killed, and there was like action scenes and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, I got interested because I'm some young teenage guy, man. I'm not like, what is this all about?" And then ended up watching it, and I was like, "Man, this movie is great." And then I watched the sequel, and the sequel was not as great. And there's like a Hispanic character that's he just man, he plays to the stereotype too much, a little too much. Where it's just like little offensive. Like there's a scene where they like buy him some pistols, and again, I'm not saying this as I support the stereotype or anything, but they buy him some pistols, and they're like bright gold and silver. They have the Mexican flag like on the handle. Like they're just like really like just out there and like gaudy, man. And it again, like I said, plays a little bit into the Hispanic or Mexican stereotype and stuff. And like whenever they give it to him, he like grabs the guns and pulls them out and he starts crying. And they're like, "Are you crying?" He's like, "No, I'm not crying." And clearly he was crying because he's just so happy that they bought him something that was like, he was like, "Things are beautiful. I love the it's whatever, man." Anyways, but I'm excited for the third film, man. I think that's kind of cool that they're coming out. I don't even know where they go. I don't even know where they go or how that goes.
With the original cast in the second one?
They were
really
a lot of people came back. If they didn't die in that first one, a lot of people came back for that second one, which was funny because there was like a scene where William Dafoe dressed up as a woman, and I personally can never mistake William Dafoe as a woman, and like. Again, the dude's he has very distinctive male features, right? Like again, really prominent chin and stuff. But anyways, he like dresses up and has makeup and stuff. And like there's like a scene where he shows his leg and one of the guys who's in the house because he's trying to trick people to get into a house. Like Willem Dafoe's character is trying to trick people to get in the house to like rescue some people. And when he goes into the house, like he like shows up his leg or something or hikes up his dress a little bit, and like the bodyguard or the person who's there is like, "Ooh la la," and just and it's just like he's attracted to him, and I'm all like, "What?" He's like, he's not even attractive. Like, no, like in that regard, like in that, and maybe some people think he is, but I wouldn't fall for it. I'd be like, "Come on, man! Like, hey, bro, like, come on, go over there, go over there. What are you doing here, man? Like, no, we're not doing this. Like, What are you trying to trick us? Did somebody order you? Like, what is happening right now? So,
Right.
but that's just a funny scene, man, within the film. But yeah, Boondock Saints, man, the third one, I'm excited for that one. If you want to watch the second one, man, you got literally nothing else to do and you want something to watch, rewatch that first one and then you'll be happy. Don't watch the second one. No, I'm kidding. You can watch the
Right.
second one, man. Just continue the story and stuff. So, but anyways, Mallrats, man. Besides Mallrats, anything else you watched?
Nothing really. Couple trailers for a couple things that are coming.
Yeah, you want to get into that?
Coming soon. So
let's go ahead, man. Let's get into them.
So the first trailer I watched was Morbius.
Jared Leto, man.
Jared Leto.
I think I have a man crush on Jared Leto.
As Dr. Michael Morbius. So to me, I think it looks good. Like I've seen some people like have their complaints about it.
Okay, wait a minute. What are the complaints?
For some reason, don't like Jared Leto, I guess.
Well, no, what are the complaints? No, don't give me this shit about Jared.
Just complaining about Jared Leto, I think, is what I saw.
What?
Maybe it's because of him playing the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Oh man, let it go. Let it go. Which speaking of that, before we get into Morbius even further, apparently, again, look, you let the fans win one time, now people are going to start letting them win even further, right? Because I forgot the director's name for Suicide Squad, but he like showed a picture, right? I think he posted it on one of his social medias, and it was a picture of Jared Leto, and it was just like, oh, if you guys would have seen his story, right? If we would have shown my cut of the film, the Joker's character would have really stood out. Which I've heard rumors, right, or I've heard some things about that before. So now the director is calling for them to release the extended version or the director's cut or
of the first Suicide Squad
of the first Suicide film because he feels like it would tell the Joker story better and then make that movie better as well. So, and again, there's people who are like now asking for it, right? But they did it for the Snyder Cut. We got lucky, right?
Yeah.
And I think you didn't really like the Snyder Cut, right?
I just wasn't a fan of I don't know. It's too long, too many parts.
and I get that, right? And I agree, right?
Did you watch the Cinema Sins I told you about Snyder Cut 1 and 2? There's 2 parts.
Oh shit, no, man! I'm gonna write this down. So what was
you gotta watch that. It's called Cinema Sins. It's on it's a YouTube channel called Cinema Sins.
Yes, you're right. I remember the earlier podcast we talked about it. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't take his recommendation. I'm sorry, Derek.
Failed in his homework assignment.
I failed in my mother effing homework assignment. But yeah, no. So yeah, no. People are asking for that Suicide Squad, man. Yeah. Would you?
I mean, I'd watch it if they did an extended version. I mean, even though I wasn't a fan of the original Justice League, I watched the Snyder Cut just because I wanted to see it, to see what was different and see,
Was it better in your opinion?
I mean, there was more explanation of some of the stuff that was going on, which kind of helped.
I mean, possibly. I'm sure you probably weren't a fan of the 4:3, like the ratio.
Yeah, I like full screen.
I mean, yeah, most people did. That was definitely one of the complaints and stuff. But anyways, I know we kind of already talked about it.
Yeah, sometimes compression just messes stuff up. Like, have you seen the complaints about Seinfeld on Netflix?
I haven't, but I know like there was a Simpsons, like when the Simpsons, when they were doing, I guess like the marathon for the Simpsons. You know how like they do that every year, and of course now it's like on. I think it's on Disney Plus, right? But
Disney Plus.
But the Simpsons, they were saying the same thing because they were saying that there were sometimes jokes within the art, like the artwork, like things in the background, but they were cut off so you couldn't see that, right? Like I think there was one where there's like an image that said like bombs over Baghdad or something.
Yeah.
But in the newer version, as they the screen was like that, it cut off the message. But in standard television, you would have been able to see it. So it's just like little things like that.
And that's what happened with the Seinfeld series on Netflix is, they did it in, compressed and, some of the background stuff or some of the stuff that is part of the story is in full screen. So you miss on part of it.
That sucks, man.
So, but yeah, back to the trailer, Morbius.
Well, before we get to Morbius, right? And then I got you. But yeah, no. So Suicide Squad, yeah, just like you meant, I would watch it again. I think that, I didn't, besides the the villain. I didn't think it was a terrible movie. But it was just the CGI and the villain. I just wasn't a huge fan of, right? But everything
Yeah.
else, I thought it had potential. Like the first half of the film was really good, and then it just kind of
Yeah.
it dipped off. So if there's some extra scenes in there that could fix it, maybe you could redeem it and do pretty well.
Yeah.
But back to the Morbius trailer, man. Holy shit! Holy shit,
Yeah.
man!
It
It looks
looks
so good.
looks yeah, so good. The, there's a couple things I'm like, it's kind of odd. Like the scene in the subway when he was like flying in front of the subway car.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what's he like? Like the way they made it, I don't know. It just looks weird the way they did it. It just
Okay.
like it didn't really make sense to me because then like he's right in front of the car and then he like drifts over to the other tracks away
Mm-hmm.
from the train from the subway train. I'm like, is there a current he's riding on? Because
Oh yeah.
usually the wind current is behind the train. You know, you've rode the subway, I've rode the
Yeah,
subway.
yeah.
It's like a sucking action as the train comes into the station and then a pushing as it goes out
Oh,
from behind
there.
the train. You know what I mean?
You're getting into physics now. You're talking to the wrong man. You're talking to the wrong.
But I mean,
I
you
get what you're
stood on
saying.
this on the
I,
platform and you felt how the wind changes from
that
the train
shit,
coming in and train going out.
especially
So
in the summer, in
yeah,
the fucking
and you
summer,
get the
it
smell
is.
of the
Oh,
trash and the pee and
and the urine. Yes, yes, it's so bad.
so yeah, that was one part of the trailer. I'm like, that's kind of odd, but other than that, I mean, I'm excited for it. I like Jared Leto. I liked him when he was in Blade Runner 2049.
Oh shit, he was
Um,
awesome in that. He was awesome in that film.
and him as a musician, I love 30 Seconds to Mars. I've seen him in concert, badass concert. Like he puts on a good show.
Hey, wait,
So
were you with? No, no, no. I think it was the Incubus one. Never mind.
yeah,
Because I saw
that was well, we saw Incubus
and Linkin Park.
and
Because I think I went the next
Linkin Park.
year,
Yeah,
and I think I went the next year and saw Linkin Park and 30 Seconds to Mars.
and his
And
show's
30 Seconds,
awesome.
yeah, 30 Seconds to Mars like opened for Linkin Park, man.
Linkin Park.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then his transition into acting, like I haven't had any complaints about his acting roles. I mean, I think he'll do a good job as Morbius, and you
Hmm.
know, and it'll also open up another chapter for for Spider Man and the Spider Verse or whatever the Spider Universe that Sony's going to create. And if they can actually bring him over to the MCU and he has to fight Blade or something,
Oh,
man,
or they have to team up.
or they team up, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Marsha Ali, which I hope I'm saying his name right, right. He's going to be Blade, and
Yeah,
both of those guys on screen. Holy smokes! Talk about the talent that's going to be there. But no, just with you, man. Just like you, I didn't really have two complaints, man. I know usually with like it's like the first trailer, right? Like I think they've had to stop production and push things back a few times. So I understand that maybe
but
it's
it's
not.
coming out like early next year, right?
Is it? Is it still going to come out early next year?
I thought that's what I
Double
saw.
check that. But no, I really like the fact. And again, I think I watched a video of him as he's kind of like talking about things because he's just like, oh yeah, like he said, this is definitely a really tough, what was it like a physically demanding role because of course like he had to lose a bunch of weight, he had to pretend like he was slightly paralyzed or and so couldn't have like full function or mobility
Yeah,
within his like legs and stuff. And then of course like then he comes and he probably packed on some muscle and had to work out and stuff
yeah,
because Morbius is a huge person, right? Or at least has a lot of like a lot of muscle and stuff. So and man, and then that one scene in the trailer where he's just like the vampire's coming out in him, and it's like
yeah.
it's coming out, and he's just like trying to fight it and stuff, and then like finally comes out, and you see the face. The face is awesome. So like
Oh yeah,
the makeup and the and what is it? The design? What is not costume design? Whatever, man. So like the makeup and everything, like with the special effects. Sorry, the special
yeah.
effects is what
Special
it
effects.
is. It's gonna look awesome. Like
And
it
like
looks
when they
awesome.
showed that part where he was like listening and his ear like changed a little, like the inside of his ear,
Oh,
like so he could hear the sonar or whatever. That was crazy.
that was wild. And at the same time, like his like I think it's going to be a really good origin story. I think that he's going to be his transition into the MCU is going to be great. And I like
Yeah,
how whenever he was again, I saw this Jared Leto where he was talking about the trailer, and he was just like, yeah, obviously referencing some of the things. Like he was like, oh yeah, like we're gonna see Morbius come in and transform and really be in the web of things, or it was something like that. He used the
Yeah,
trigger
like
word like
dropping hints.
webs, right? And obviously, like with two things in the trailer, one, they talk about San Francisco, right?
Yep.
They're like, hey, this is. I think they say something like, hey, this is similar to something in San Francisco, or like this is an anomaly similar to San Francisco. So they reference
Yep.
Venom, right? And then of course, I think there's a part where he's like on the street and he's like walking, and in the background there's an image of Spider Man.
Yeah.
And so,
And then when he's in that one part,
oh fuck,
and
Michael Keaton, Michael
yeah, you
Keaton.
see Adrian Toombs.
Oh, he's just like, yeah. What's he saying? He tells him like, hey, we
He
should
said
work together, or we
something like
should.
that. I can't remember.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
but
much paraphrasing here, but he's like, we should link up, right? Like we should get
yeah,
together or something like that. Which I was like, what? Like what? Oh man, super excited. I'm super pumped about it,
yeah,
man.
January 28th of next year.
You're kidding. 2022.
Not yeah, 2022, January 28th.
Okay, that's awesome. And they're only going to keep releasing like more and more trailers,
Yeah.
and it's expanding within the universe. Your ass needs to watch Venom 2, or the Carnage Venom film, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Your ass needs to watch it, man, because you need to tie shit in. Like you know how it is.
Yeah.
Like you can't just watch. Like even if it's bad, you still have to watch it. So,
Yeah.
and again, speaking of bad, something we were talking about before this, man, the reviews on the Eternals. I know we both bought our tickets, man, but the reviews on the Eternals. What are your thoughts, man? Are you going to trust the reviews? Are we going to get another Dark World, or are we going to get something way better than that?
I mean, I'll watch it because it's an MCU movie, it's Marvel. But even like myself, like just from watching the trailers, I'm a little like leery of how good it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It has a good cast, a good lineup, but it's I don't know. To me, it seems like it's going to be like a slow paced type of Marvel movie. It's not going to be like high octane, lots of action. There's going to be a little bit of comedic effect. I think from a couple of the characters, like they tried to make the end of the trailer funny when he, when the guy's like, what's this table made out of? And he smashes it, and the guy's like, oh, it's IKEA winner, whatever, whatever. So they try to
Yeah.
make it funny, but I'm holding out to see if it's good.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, but regardless, I would have watched it because it's part of the MCU, and
Yeah.
going forward, I'm sure it's going to tie in with other parts of the other movies that are going to come out later on. So
No, I agree, and I think that from an instance of like, um, what's it called? I kind of lost my train of thought here, but no, like, well, going back here a little bit, it's like yes, like MCU thing, like yes, you have to watch it. Like the same, I'm saying the same shit to you. Like, go watch Venom. Anyways,
yeah,
but also at the same time, I think that with this particular film, I'm gonna go in open minded. But after seeing like Shang-Chi, like 10 Rings, like the fucking bar is high right now. Like the bar
yeah,
is very high for me, man. So that movie I went in with low expectations and it surpassed them. Like it blew them out the
yeah,
water. This one I'm going in with high expectations and I don't want it to be the opposite, man. I'll watch it because it's gonna tie in. They verbally have said, like they've definitely said, like, watch it because it's gonna tie into everything and it's gonna kind of
yeah,
explain and unite a bunch of different kind of stories and stuff. But at the same time, like again, seeing the reviews and stuff. But at the same time, I'm not always big on reviews, right? Like I do
yeah,
like to watch reviews. I like to see them, but I don't try to like buy into them too much because again, I think the experience is different for everybody. So like if you watch a particular film, you might absolutely love it, and I watch it and think it's absolutely awful. So I think it's just kind of tailored to the person sometimes. So I like reviews because I think they kind of give you a good, somewhat of a foundation, or at least kind of give you an idea. But at the same time, like I'm going in open minded, man, and I know that it could be different. But again, like I said, Sung Chi kind of raised that bar for me, man. So again, watching
yeah,
after that, it's kind of one of those things, right? So, um, but yeah, man. I know you got your tickets on Saturday. I got my tickets tomorrow, so I'm excited to kind of check it out and see what it's going to be about, man. So,
yeah.
um, I know we were talking about movies coming out. We talked about Boondock Saints 3. Another film, which I don't know if you've ever seen it, but have you ever seen a movie called Attack the Block?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, let me give you premises of this film. So, Attack the Block, it takes place, I believe, in the UK, right? So it takes place in like the UK, and there is some kind of alien that kind of like, or some alien ship or something that like lands in this neighborhood, right? Or in these
Yeah.
projects or something, right? They call them something else, but I call them projects, right? They like land
Is
there.
it kids or something in the movie? Like
There
teenagers
are,
or something?
yes, they are teenagers and stuff, right? So they like land there, and when they land, they're like fighting these like um what's it called? They're like so like these aliens start like attacking them and stuff. And
Yeah.
so what ends up happening, one of the characters like takes the alien and puts it on his backpack, but it's like a baby alien or something.
Uh-huh.
So um I think they like see, they smell it because like the baby alien is dead, so the other aliens like smell it, so they come in and they eventually start like attacking this building, and
Yeah.
they're there trying to survive. And one of the characters is like he's like a cool kid. He's like the leader of the crew. He like sacrifices himself and everything and kind of saves the day at the end or whatever. But it's a really cool like underrated like indie film, man. Would highly recommend it to people to kind of check it out. But awesome film. They're
I
making a sequel, and I'm super excited. And the main character is Finn from Star Wars, and I know his
oh
first name is
yeah.
John, but I can't remember how to pronounce his last
But
name.
yeah. Yeah, I know what you I did watch something else today. I don't know how I forgot. I literally just watched a movie this afternoon. Um, so I watched Love and Monsters.
Ooh, what is Love and Monsters, man?
So it's like kind of like a end of the world type thing. So there's an asteroid flying towards Earth. So all the countries shoot these rockets or these missiles at the asteroid to blow it up before it reaches Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But the missiles, for some reason, they have like some kind of chemical compound in it, and it
Yeah.
comes back down on Earth and like infects like bugs and amphibians and that sort of thing. So everything mutates to like giant size.
Okay.
So like half the population, I think it says like 95% of the population gets wiped out, and most people live in bunkers and they don't go outside that often because they'll get attacked or whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, he was separated from his girlfriend at the beginning. They were like teenagers, and she's
Uh-huh.
in another bunker like 85 miles away or something. So he decides to go there on his own to see her. And
Mm-hmm.
he meets up with this one guy and this little girl that are like out wandering. And the guy is played by Michael Rooker or Roker. How do you
It's
pronounce it?
Roker. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's in it. And so they teach him like how to survive. Um, and then he finally reaches the other bunker, and his the girl is there, and she's taking care of the bunker because it's
Mm-hmm.
mostly older people that live there. And these other group of three people showed up, and they're like, "We're here to rescue you. We got a boat, blah blah blah." And the whole time, that's like a trick. They just want to steal their supplies, and
Oh
so they
shit.
end up having to fight. And they have a secret like weapon, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but overall, I mean, it was pretty entertaining. The
Where did you
monsters,
watch it on? You watch it on Amazon?
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. Okay.
Yeah. The monster creation was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell what some of the things were supposed to be. Like there was a giant frog that was mutated. It was like living in a pool, so it was like the size of a pool. Um, but he had like these antennas that came off his head that were like eyeballs. So that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But some of the other like bugs and stuff that you saw were like you could recognize of what they were. There was like a millipede that was huge that he fought. So
I'm like
um,
looking at the reviews on this, man. Like Rotten Tomatoes 94%, IMDb 7 out of 10, man.
yeah, it
Um,
was a decent movie,
I'm
and
gonna actually, again, another
I
thing.
think it just came out last year.
Yeah, it says 2020, man.
Yeah,
I can't believe I haven't heard about this, man. And you said you watched this today?
yeah, I just watched it this afternoon.
How did you come across it?
I was just scrolling through Paramount Plus, the new movies or whatever movies, the action category on
Okay.
Paramount Plus.
If you guys don't know, Derek's an action guy, so he watches action films.
So I want to watch and I
The
don't
Notebook?
know if it
Yeah, I
was
got
good or
you.
not. But that Monster Hunter with Mila Jovovich.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
not
I've heard.
streaming anywhere unless you pay, and I'm not going to pay to see this movie because I don't know if it's going to be any good or not.
Again, reviews on it weren't very good because I believe it was based off a
The
um,
video game, right?
yeah, the Monster Hunter video game, which the game is really good. Let's see, Mila Jovovich. Yeah, it got a 43% on Rotten
Nice. So yeah,
Tomatoes.
like if it was streaming for free on one of the platforms that I have that I already pay for, I would watch it. But I'm not going to pay money to watch that.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
And
But yeah,
but that
no.
came out like last year too, wasn't it? Like almost a
Yeah,
year ago it's been
I
out.
mean, they have a pretty good. It has a pretty good lineup, like Mila Jovovich, Ron Perlman, Tony Jaa, Megan
Yeah.
Good. Has Ti in it. I don't know what Ti is doing in it, but he's in it too. So, Atlanta's favorite rapper. So yeah, man, he's in
Yeah,
it
so I
too.
don't understand why it's not streaming anywhere yet.
Well, I mean, if you have like a Star subscription, you can watch it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either.
Or if you have oh no, that's slang Amazon Prime, but you probably have to pay for it too, right?
Yeah, I think it's money. You got to pay money.
Oh,
And
that's
there's
deep.
another one that I want to see that came out last year that's not streaming anywhere. You have to pay for is that Vin Diesel movie where he's like a anti-hero, Bloodshot or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that one also isn't. I don't think it's filming anywhere. But yeah, that was another one where I was just like, I don't know, man. Vin Diesel. I'm not a huge Vin Diesel fan. Again, if you have stars, you could watch it on there. But it got a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5.7 on IMDb. So, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so that's another one I would watch if it was like streaming, you know what I mean?
yeah, give it a shot. Again, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, if one of the Fast and Furious, the newest Fast and Furious film is streaming somewhere, I might watch it. I might
Yeah,
watch it. I might
I'd
give it a
watch it.
shot. But
I
I'm
wouldn't go
not
to the
paying for it.
movies.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. But I watch it just to kind of see what the hoopla was about. See how they got the space.
See them put a Fiero in space.
Yeah, Fiero in
It
space.
wasn't it a Fiero? They put a rocket on the back of it
I
or something
have
like
no
that.
idea. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie, Derek. I didn't pay to see it, man. Maybe it was a Fiero, but I know they eventually cross cross the universe and come across the Guardians of the Galaxy. So they'll fight
Oh,
there
really?
for
They
sure.
went to the multiverse.
Yes, they got into the
They
multiverse.
met their they met their selves in another from another multiverse,
Exactly.
and they
But
were still doing the original Fast and Furious, like running down trucks and stealing goods.
but this time they're Ravagers, so they join the Ravagers, and so instead of stealing cars, they're stealing ships. And Paul Rudd is now Groot. Not Paul Rudd. No, get fuck it. It's Paul Rudd. It's Paul Rudd. Not Paul Walker. It's Paul Rudd. That's who I meant. But fuck it. It's Paul Rudd now. R.I.P. Paul Walker. But fuck it. It's Paul Rudd in this scenario. He's Groot now. So he's gonna. Oh, I guess. Well, I guess Groot is Vin Diesel. Is he double casted there? Is he
That's right.
is he doing both? Like what's happening there? Right. So
Can
um
Vin Diesel talk to Groot and understand him? Like
yes,
his character, can Dom
yes.
understand Groot?
Oh, absolutely. And guess what? It's all about family. It's all about family. So, but no, man. Getting back to I know we talked about the Morbius trailer, but there's one more trailer, man, that was released this week that got a lot of people talking about.
Oh yeah, some
You know,
Boba Fett.
some Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, man. What were your thoughts? I know you know a lot more of the lore and you know a lot more of the story, man. How excited or not excited or even hesitant are you about the series?
I'm pretty excited to see how this goes. The trailer, the trailer is what it is. It's not going to show you a whole lot. It's not going to give away a lot of the plot or what you can expect. But
Yeah,
just like anything with Boba Fett, is going to get the fans excited.
yeah.
And I also like that Fennec is still with him. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I was just about to say.
that two together, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a cool series to see um, those two characters together on screen. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Me too, man. And one of the things that I'm excited about too is one, like it's visually beautiful, right? Like
Yeah,
the landscapes, the cities, all the large like areas that they're kind of filmed and they showed in the trailer was amazing. Which obviously a lot of that is CGI, but a lot of the costume design from like some of the characters that are in there isn't really CGI, and I
yeah,
love that. Right? Anytime they kind
yeah,
of put more time and effort in like the makeup and all the all the special effects for some of the characters, man, I'm a huge fan of that, and I think that
yeah.
what they did that with the some of the characters within the trailer, And again, visually beautiful, man. I think that the way the Mandalorian is filmed and shot is beautiful, and I think that this is going to continue to be an extension of that. And
Yeah.
Boba Fett, I can't speak on it too much. I know you know the lore a lot more than me, but again, great story, man. Great character. And December 29th, man, it comes out this year. It's going to be a great thing to watch kind of around that, New Year's, but also, 2022 kind of era. So I think the beginning of the 2022, man, is there's going to be some heavy hitters on there. There's going to be some great
Yeah.
shows,
Yeah.
some great
Like the
movies too.
last couple weeks of December and like in January, the beginning of January, it's gonna be a lot to watch. I mean,
Oh,
you got
so much.
Spider-Man.
So much. We might take a little break on We Three Bros podcast, man, because I know Derek and myself got some things coming up during that time. But when we come
Yeah.
back, we're gonna have so many things to talk about. But we're excited for that, right? So we're probably gonna take a little holiday break. But if we don't take a holiday break, we'll be right here, right in your ear, talking you guys out. This is DJ. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not
Right.
going. Don't do the trumpets, not the trumpets, not the DJ trumpets. But yeah, no, man. So Book of Boba Fett, man. Excited about it. I think it's going to be a great show. Disney's not missing right now. Which one of the
Yeah.
things? Just this is my only complaint. Can we stop calling it Lucasfilms Ltd. and just change it to Disney Films from now on? Can we just change the name? Like
I
F
don't
it.
think he'll let anyone change the name on there. That's probably in the deal. Like you have to keep calling it Lucasfilms Limited.
That's so lame because he literally has nothing to do with it. It's just his idea at this point. Like it's nothing
I
else.
think he still might advise on some of it a little bit. I think he was on set for Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think he was on set because they were showing him around. They weren't really listening to him.
Yeah,
He's
that's
the
probably
he's
true.
the old man on the side that he's just like complaining. They're like, let's just make him happy and walk on set to walk around, right? Because of
Right.
course he took a picture with Grogu, which I thought was kind of cool, but still,
Yeah.
like I don't think he has any kind of creative, input or anything like that anymore. Like when he signed his rights away, Disney was just like, thank you, come again, or F off, see you later, do your own thing,
Right.
kind of thing. So not that
Yeah.
they would treat him like that. Like I honestly don't think they would. But I just again, what is it? George R. Martin. Same thing with Game of Thrones, man. Like as soon as they got done with season 6, they were like, "We're gonna do whatever we want now." Or season 5, season 6. This is one of the seasons, right? Where
Yeah.
it was just like he wasn't around the books. They tried to, they were trying to get some ideas, and he was kind of had some input, but at the same time, they were just like, "We're doing our own thing, man. Like we're gonna change this up, do our thing. We're gonna be happy with it. If you're not happy with it, it is what it is, kind of thing, right?" So,
Yeah.
anyways, digress, man. But yeah, I was just like, can we just change MCU to Disney U? Can we can we change Lucasfilms to Disney Films and then just call
Right.
it a day, man? They own everything. Like I think they probably own this podcast now. Can you guys buy us? Buy us, Disney, please, please.
We'll still be
I'm just
Disney
kidding.
employees. We'll work for the Mouse House.
Hey, Mouse House, let's go. But Derek, man,
Did you see
what's up?
one small thing? Did you see what David Chase said this week?
Um, I didn't read into it, but wasn't it something about like the finale of The Sopranos or something like that?
Yeah.
What did he say? What did he say?
He basically confirmed that guy that walked in and like went into the bathroom that walked past Tony, killed him.
Killed Tony?
Yeah. Like Tony basically died at the end. Like that guy
Well,
was a hired hitman, probably from one of the New York families to come
well,
kill Tony.
fuck, man. With his family there.
Yeah, in front of the fam.
Well, that's goddamn depressing. I'm like, well, that sucks. I didn't know that, man. I remember, like, again, I think I told you I got into The Sopranos a little bit after,
Yeah.
like that, like after the ending, right when the series actually ended. So I know a lot of people were pissed off about the ending because it just, again, spoilers. If you guys haven't seen The Sopranos, fuck, go watch it. And two, like, I shouldn't even say spoilers. You should have watched it by now.
Right.
But the way that it ended, we just kind of cut mid sentence and just ended like that. Like, again, we don't need to talk about it because I know people have already talked about it, way too much. But if he's confirming that's like, yeah, Tony died. Like, one, why didn't you show that, right? And then two, like that's like Omar dying. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah, I was super surprised that Omar died.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah. And with you watching it right within the past month, like shit, Omar dies, and you're like, God damn it, little kid.
Right. And I just watched Sopranos again earlier this year too.
Oh shit, yeah. I'm gonna have to restart that soon. I'm gonna restart it and rewatch it soon too. So
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there before we got into the NFL, I guess.
Yes, I was like, unless you got something else, man, let's go ahead and do our final segment here and talk some NFL, man, where we kind of go through some scores and we talk about the games that you may or may not have watched, or at least some highlights, or possibly some players to kind of talk about, right?
The
So the first
foosball.
some foosball. So the first game that happened last Thursday, and there's also a Thursday night game happening right now. But the first game that we're going to talk about was the Packers and Cardinals game, right? So it was the undefeated Cardinals going against the big green pack, man, with Aaron Rodgers on there, and it was a highly rated game. I think you and I even talked about it. We're like, hey, it should be a good game tonight, and it delivered. It was a very good game.
Yeah.
Not the outcome I expected. Green Bay winning 24-21 with a field goal.
I was kind of thinking that Green Bay would be able to pull that game off. It was in Green Bay, right?
It was in Green Bay?
Yeah. With it being in Green Bay, I kind of figured they had they definitely had the edge being home. And then, what do you think the temperatures were in Wisconsin last Thursday night? Probably wasn't too warm.
It was
for
not
a team
warm,
coming from Arizona.
But also, like, he didn't have a lot of weapons. Like, I think, like, Devontae Adams.
Yeah, that was the only drawdown for him, was that he didn't have, like, Devontae Adams. He didn't have, what was the other? One of his other receivers was out too, weren't they?
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but I think his running back was injured or something was happening. But I know that he didn't have everybody that he needed, right?
Yeah.
But he still pulled it up because guess what? Like my boss once told me, always be yourself unless you can be Aaron Rodgers. Then always be Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Yeah, man, a little surprising. Kyler Murray 2 interceptions in that game, right? No touchdowns. Yeah. He didn't really particularly play the best, right? But again, the Cardinals are still a team that I wouldn't want to face if I was any other team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Again, we've discussed this multiple times. NFC West is a tough division to play in, right?
Definitely.
So the Packers and Cardinals, and again, there's some huge news right now about Aaron Rodgers. What's the huge news there?
He got Rona.
He got COVID. He has COVID-19 and is going to miss at least this coming up Sunday, maybe the next Sunday.
They said that he should be back for next Sunday.
He should be back for next Sunday. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, he got COVID, so he's going to be out this Sunday. So Packers may lose a game, but we'll see what happens.
Who are they playing this week?
The Packers are playing. Hope this doesn't mess up. Oh shoot! It was right on top. Why didn't I just push it? Packers. They play the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That would have been a huge game if Aaron Rodgers was playing.
It would have. It would 100% would have. But hey, he's. Well, I don't know if it would have been a huge game because I don't necessarily trust the Chiefs right now, man. So they need to figure some things out.
Maybe he'll be out there and it'll be like, what's Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron. It's like one of those things where maybe the game will be close now. The fact that they're playing the Chiefs and Aaron Rodgers is out. Before it wasn't going to be close. Now it'll probably be close, right?
Because who's the backup over there? Is it a rookie?
I believe it's a rookie. Because remember, he was really upset and wanted to be traded because.
Oh yeah, because they drafted a rookie.
Yep, and he wasn't about it, man. So he's like, I want to get out. So maybe he'll leave next year. We'll see. Maybe he'll go to the Niners.
Maybe.
California kid.
Yeah.
So cool. We got the Panthers and the Falcons. Panthers won that 19-13.
Not too surprising.
Not too surprising there. Dolphins and Bills. Bills beat the Dolphins 26-11. Again, not too surprising. Josh Allen. Your 49ers beat the Bears. Beat the Bears 33-22.
Jimmy G had 2 rushing touchdowns and threw for 300 yards.
322, man.
He went off.
Jimmy
G. Debo had like a massive game too. 6
receptions, 171 yards. That man helped me win fantasy football. Thank you, Debo Samuels. You're the man. So the Niners doing the thing. Steelers and Browns. The Browns with no Baker Mayfield and 15-10. Steelers win 15-10. Some issues with OBJ, right?
He didn't practice. He hasn't practiced since what was the deadline, Tuesday?
Yep. So he hasn't practiced since the deadline. I think they should have traded him if they wanted any kind of compensation picks for him.
And his dad, the day of the last day, put out that highlight reel of OBJ,
Yep.
And then also he put out something showing how many times Baker Mayfield didn't look for OBJ downfield when during a couple of games or something like that.
Yeah, and I think he also, I think again, OBJ put on his social media something about like, oh, I guess the time here with Baker Mayfield is not that long or something like that. He
Yeah.
tweeted or he posted something like that. He eventually went back and deleted it, but he definitely posted something along those lines about maybe not being in there for much longer, right? Eagles and the Lions, man, poor Lions,
Yeah.
44-6, man. It just
Jared Goff's probably so mad that he's like, yeah, I can go to Detroit.
No. Titans and Colts, man. Carson Wentz. Ooh, again, like I can't really talk too much, man. Like I'm not an NFL quarterback. I never played quarterback ever in my life. I don't think I ever would have, and can or will or ever will play
Yeah.
quarterback. But definitely made some very very poor throws, very bad decisions, man. Like, I mean, right now they're beating the Jets, but again, it's the Jets, so
It's
whatever.
the Jets.
But yeah, man, for them for the Titans to beat them. But then the Titans lost. They had a huge loss, man. They lost Derrick Henry for the rest of the season, which I think he had to have foot surgery or something like that. Man, out for
That
the season.
sucks.
That sucks. He was on a tear. I think he right now at this time probably could be the only running back to break Eric Dickerson's single season
Yeah.
rushing record. Right. So, but yeah, it sucks to see him gone. But we'll see how the Titans do. They're 6-2, man. So. And the AFC is kind of a lighter division right now, so maybe they'll be able to kind of pull it out. The Bengals and Jets, holy shit, 34-31 Jets.
Yeah. That was
That,
surprising.
I think his name was Mike White or something like that. 405 yards, 3 touchdowns, like had a crazy completion percentage. The rookie went off. He's not playing so
Yeah.
great right now, but in that game, they were like he broke a record for like the most passing yards within like, um, for starting for a rookie, right over that 400
Yeah.
yards and getting 3 touchdowns, like bananas. The kid went off, but again, he's a rookie. They don't have much tape
Yeah.
on him. Like, what do you kind of expect? That's why rookie seasons are great and sophomore seasons, or they call it the sophomore slump for no reason,
Yeah.
right? So, Rams and Texans. I don't want to talk about it.
That was a beatdown.
Yeah, I like. There's a comment because of course Von Miller got traded, and there was like a comment he made. He's like, "I went to bed 4-4 and woke up 7-1. This is it's
Right.
a great day. It's a great day to be here." But yeah, no, Rams being the Texans. Texans suck. Tyrod Taylor is coming back this weekend, so maybe we'll get our second win, but that's about it. So it's been real. Patriots and Chargers. I don't know what's going on with the Chargers, man. Justin Herbert was really on the top of his game. He was really doing some great things over there. And I don't know, man. Maybe the Patriots are a better team than we're giving them credit for, but
Yeah.
uh, Patriots beat the Chargers, man, 27-24. Jaguars and Seahawks. Poor Jags, man. Seahawks beat them 31-7. Washington and Broncos. Broncos beat them 17-10. I forgot the Washington football team just recently assigned somebody. They were thinking about signing somebody. I forgot who it was. The Saints and the Buccaneers. That was a surprising game. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is about Sean Payton and Tom Brady, but he just has his number. He just has his
Right.
number. Like I think I saw a statistic of like, since Brady's been with the Bucks, like his record against them, and it's just like 1-3 or 1-4. Like it's
Yeah.
something. It's wild. It's wild. He just can't beat the Saints, which I
Yeah.
think is hilarious. They just have his number. They know how to beat him, man. And he didn't play. He didn't play terrible. I mean, he still threw for 375 and 4 touchdowns, but
Right.
there were still some costly turnovers that he had, and some costly
Yeah.
turnovers amongst his players, man. That just didn't. I don't know. It was. Yeah, I'm surprised, man. That was a surprising win. The Saints are 5-2. Buccaneers are 6-2. That's going to be a pretty interesting divisional round if they make it that far. This Sunday night game was the Cowgirls and the Vikings. Yes, I'm gonna call them the Cowgirls. I'm not a fan, but they won the game 20-16 with Cooper Rush, which sounds like a flavor of Mountain Dew, but we're not gonna get into that. But yeah, Cooper Rush, man, led them down the field, 325, 2 touchdowns, and they
Yeah.
won the
Isn't Dak
game.
hurt again?
Yeah, he hurt his calf. He was out there dancing the two-step, and he hurt his calf, man. And so
Yeah. It's November.
that's
Cowboys about to start losing.
December, November, man. Keep an eye. But Cowboys are currently sitting 6-1. Vikings, they beat the Vikings. Vikings are 3-4. Kirk Cousins, man, I heard some people disparaging that poor guy, like, or just saying some really disrespectful things about Kirk Cousins. I think I heard something along the lines of like, Kirk Cousins is is one of the most overpaid, overpaid, but also over like valued quarterback. Like, he's not really like worth the money. Like, they're like, man, the way this man is finessing teams for millions of dollars for like a media, like I think that I
to
saw
play
something.
mediocre football.
Yeah, they're like he has raised the standard and raised the pay for great quarterbacks so much that because of him, like he's done that because of free agency. Like, he's ruined the QB market because like now, if you're Patrick Mahomes, if you're a Tom Brady or something like that, like, you have to pay them like 400 million more money, like more dollars than Kirk Cousins, because they're like, oh yeah, you think, yeah, you're like, I know you don't want to pay me 16 million, but look at Kirk Cousins. He's getting paid 16 million and he's average. He's below average. He can't even throw
Right.
70%. You know what I mean? I'm throwing 80% and you want to pay me 10 million? F you, man. F you. So yeah, what a steal. He knows how to rob people, and I think it's hilarious. And then the Monday night game, Chiefs and Giants, was a very close game. So
Yeah.
surprisingly, but yeah, Chiefs 20-17, man. Like, I didn't think that they'd be able to pull it out like that, but they did. So, they're
But it
doing a
is the
thing.
Giants also.
It is the Giants, 2-6, 1-3 away. Chiefs are not 4-4. Will the Chiefs make the playoffs, Derek?
I don't know. I think it's going to depend on the rest of their schedule. I don't know who else they play. I know they play the Packers this week. We talked about it a
Mhm.
little bit. So, but I don't know beyond that who they play. So, I mean, it's going to depend a lot on their schedule. Like, I think the Chargers can beat them.
Okay.
I think the Ravens can beat them. I think the
Here,
Browns could probably beat them if they played them again, but I don't think they play them a second time, do they?
I'm gonna run down the I'm gonna run down their schedule. The rest of their schedule. They play the Packers. They play the Raiders. They play the Cowboys.
The Raiders might be able to beat them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Packers, Raiders, Cowboys. That's 3 losses. Now they're 4-7,
Yeah.
right? And then they play the Broncos,
So
and
they
then they play the
probably
Raiders
could win it.
again,
They could probably
and
win
then
that Broncos game.
and then they play the Raiders again. They play the Chargers, the Steelers, the Bengals, and then they play the Broncos at the end of the season. It's gonna be tough for them.
Yeah. If
I
they
think
do, it'll be like
a nine and
it'd be
seven,
like how remember when the Giants made the playoffs with like a 8 and something record?
an 8-8 record, man, because the NFC East was so.
Yeah. It'd be like an NFC East team that goes to the playoffs with like almost a losing record because
So
somebody from the NFC East has to go,
yeah, so that's 5. That's maybe 6. That's 7. That's 8. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I can see them winning 8 games. I don't know if they were winning more than that.
Yeah.
And they're at 4-4 right now. So, because again, I think they'll lose to the Packers, lose to the Raiders, lose to the Cowboys, maybe beat the Broncos, might beat the Raiders, but maybe the Raiders get them again. The Chargers are going to get them. I think the Chargers beat them the first time. Yep, Chargers beat them 30-24. Um, but then again, if they got to go to the playoffs and play a team like the Bills are going to destroy them.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. AFC is it's a lightweight kind of division right now, right? It's not the best
Yeah.
division. If they were in the NFC, they're not making the playoffs. Not
Oh
making the
yeah,
playoffs at
definitely.
all. NFC is killing the teams right now. So, but yeah, man, that's the NFL recap. Like I said,
So I have the meme from like this shows like
oh, go
what
for it,
each
man.
category each team is.
Yeah.
So Super Bowl contenders, we have the Cowboys, the Buccaneers, the Bills, the Packers, and the Rams. Um, Next category, give your fans hope just to lose in the playoffs. The Cardinals and the Titans.
Oh.
Their own category. Remember when John Gruden was the only problem? The Raiders. So they had another issue this week, but it's
Oh
a
man, they
pretty
can't catch
serious
a
issue.
break. Yeah, they can't catch a break, man, and that was just awful. That was so sad
Yeah.
to kind of see that, man. And again, I've seen there was a documentary on ESPN when they were talking about broke, man. Like the NFL, like the teams provide you drivers. They provide you drivers, man, that will take you from place to place if you need them, like
Or you can just
car
call an
service
Uber.
or car calling
You
them.
make millions of dollars. Like 30, $40 gonna hurt your wallet.
Oh man, yeah, it's so sad. It's just a very sad situation. But what
Yeah.
else you got, man?
So the next category is good. The Patriots, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Saints.
Okay.
Next category is okay. The Colts, the Browns, the Niners, the Seahawks, the Falcons, the Chargers, and the Panthers. The next category, bad but have a top 5 QB or a QB who used to be top 5. Jets and Kansas City.
Oh no. Oh no.
The next category is bad. The Texans, the Lions, the Jaguars, Washington, the Broncos, the Vikings, and the Bears.
That's nice of them to say us bad. I thought we were going to be a whole lot worse than that. That's nice for the Texans to be bad. Okay.
Next category, lost to a team with the Jackson Mahomes curse. The Giants and the Eagles.
Oh no.
And then their own category, from tank for Tua to tanking because of Tua, the Dolphins.
Oh no. Taking because of Tua. Oh man.
Yeah, so that's another week of football.
Another week of football, man. We got some good games coming up this week, so definitely check some out this weekend, man. I don't think I'll be able to watch too many games this weekend, but hey, do me a favor, Derek. Watch some football for me, man, and we can definitely discuss further. So,
oh, and a special shout out to the Atlanta Braves for taking out the trash this week.
All right, and that's where we're going to end this podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening. For the people that do listen, we appreciate you guys. We hope you guys have a safe weekend. Oh man, have a safe weekend. Have a be safe this weekend. Have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening. This man threw me off. I can't even get this corrected. Bigfoot, if you're out there, fuck you, man. Not you, Derek. Fuck Bigfoot. And yeah, whatever. We'll see you, man. I'll be out there watching. Derek, if you'll send us out, sir.
All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving us a listen on the all the podcasting platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for checking us out. Welcome to November. This year's almost over. We're about to be 2022. So everyone, thanks for being here. I want to thank Joseph for being here as usual, and I want to thank myself for being here. Now,
it's a prima donna. Sounds about right.
So everyone have a safe weekend, and we will catch you on the next one.